video is going to go over how to extract all of the zip codes, both boundary and point zip codes that fall within a particular county. With these zip codes, there's two kinds. There's a boundary zip code, which typically go around to city limits or something like that we all know. There's also point zip codes, which are just buildings that are within a boundary zip code many times, and it's just a building that receives a lot of mail, so they have their own point zip codes. So I'm going to do it this way so that you get all of the zip codes, not just the boundary, so it doesn't look like any are missing. So what I've done here is I'm going to just click on an individual county here, and I'm going to need to create a territory. So I'll just call it Tampa 1. Now I have my county territory, and another thing that I forgot to mention is that you're going to find that zip codes, boundary zip codes, do not line up with counties. Many times they reach into multiple counties, so just keep that in mind as we look. So now that we have our Tampa territory created by county, I'm going to add our database of point and boundary zip codes. To do that, I click on my Plot Data on Map button, and I'm going to use my public data that's available. So we have something called From Server, which is available at the bottom, and then from the pull-down list, there's public data that's available to everybody. And at the bottom of this list is a list of all of the point and boundary zip codes across the nation. So when I add it, it's going to flood the map with little dots. It's not a big deal. We can always turn off that layer that comes up initially, or we can make them really small. But just note that they're there. We're later going to be using this data set, but I just want to show you that if they do get in the way, you can just go over to your map and data box and uncheck this zip code point layer that we brought in. So I'm going to head back to my data window and go back to that January codes, 2019 January. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my territory name column, just so I have it in my data set. I could always remove it or omit it if I wanted to, but you can omit it later in Excel. But I'm just going to click More Data, and I'm going to add a territory to this data set of zip codes across the United States. I'm going to move it to the top just so it's right next to my zip codes. Click Set Data Columns, and now that information has been added, you're going to notice that most of these are blank because I don't have any territories right now in New York and Puerto Rico, but I do have my territory name column. So I can use that for filtering, and I can remove all of the zip codes that don't include a territory. To do that, I'm going to click on this Filter Data Rows button. And from the pull-down list, I'm going to choose territory. I'm going to change this top none to greater than, and I'm going to leave the value of 0 just so that it omits all of those entries in the spreadsheet that don't have any words in the territory column. Click Filter. Now we're left with all of the zip codes, point and boundary, that fall within Tampa 1. If I want to fine tune this, if I want to get rid of some of this superfluous information, I can click on my More Data button. I can get rid of states, counties, ID, a duplicate zip code. Click that over to the left-hand side. I could remove my notes as well. Click Set Data Columns, and now I have zip code, territory name, what type of zip code, place name is a city essentially that it's around, and then state and county. Once I'm done, I can click this button here at the end. I just leave these blank because I've already done my filtering. Click Next, click Save File, and then just rename that to open it up. Wait for Excel to load. And now I have a nice little list of my county and all of the zip codes that fall within this. If you have any questions, please give us a call. Thanks and have a great day.